Hello to my fellow glorious Gaians. Thank you for joining me, Amber, on my channel Guidance Through Gaia, where I do tarot pick-a-card readings. If this is your first time here, welcome. I hope that you find something that resonates today. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for giving me another opportunity to read your energy. I do offer personal readings. If you're interested, my contact information is in the description box down below. Just send me an email and I'll send you a list of my services. All right, guys, we're going to be looking at the question, what should you do? Each pile here has pre-shuffled oracle cards, and these oracle cards are going to give a detail, right, about your situation. So that's how we can do a check, right, if that's the pile for you. And then after we confirm what the situation is, we are going to be using tarot to look at what actions you should take and also why that is important. So we have 3 piles to choose from. We have the citrine pile. We have the moss agate. And we have the rose quartz. Okay? So I will see you at your piles. Bye. Hello to my pile 1. You chose the citrine stone. And we're going to look at what the situation you're inquiring about is. Okay, so we have card number 38 with Imam Koli, root. We've got card number 5 with mountains and obstacles. We've got the chosen one with destiny, prophecy, selected, mission, and prodigy. We've got depression, grief. And we have card number 29 with breakthrough. What I'm getting, group number 1, is that you have been selected or potentially chosen out of feeling like it was a sense of duty, right? To take control of something. This specifically here makes me think of like a casket, right? So this could deal with being in charge of someone's estate, could be being in charge of someone like as their durable power of attorney. And I really feel here that there's a heaviness attached to this. I kind of feel like this isn't a position that you want. It comes with a lot of responsibility. And right now, you are facing some big challenges. You're really looking for the solution, right? So I think I'm going to use 2 different tarot decks here. Okay. I'm going to use, I wasn't intending to use tarot for this portion of it, but at this point, why the hell not? I want to see what this obstacle is. What's this obstacle? What's this obstacle? Okay, how to move forward, how to expand. Why is there depression and grief here? The Magician. Yeah, I just really feel like you don't want to be in control of something. I feel like you rather would have had somebody else in the position. You might not feel comfortable being a leader, or it might just be something that is too close to your heart, right? Could also be that there's depression and grief because something has changed. Why do we have root here? Okay, the Eight of Swords in reverse. There are people who are counting on you. They're depending on you. Whether they're employees or family members or friends. And that is something you're really trying to be strong for. Because you understand how important your position is. You understand how important your role is. And you understand how it will affect other people who are tied to the situations. That's a lot of stress on you. I totally understand that, right? Like, you want to make the decision that's best for everyone, but there may be people, no matter what you do, it feels like there could be people who are at a disadvantage. So there's this character in the His Dark Materials series, and he tries to poison the relative of the main character at one point. And then turns around and at another point tries to give the main character, who's a young girl, the resources in order to be as best protected as she can. And this character, he's described as somebody who always has to make a terrible decision. So he tries to make the decision that will hurt the least amount of people. And I don't know if anybody even really would be hurt by whatever decision you had to make. But it could be that you feel the weight of that, right? Like, you don't want to disappoint people. You don't want to make the wrong decision. You don't want to be judged poorly. What's this breakthrough card? The Nine of Pentacles in reverse. But it's something that you have to decide in a way that, like, your own preferences aren't affecting it, right? Like, at the end of the day, I'm just hearing, like, it doesn't matter what I want. You have to be completely partial in this, or look at it from what benefits the most people, or what's in the best interest of the company. So why were you chosen? Came out sideways, so I'm going to redo that. Why was group number 1 chosen? Or we could say, what were they chosen for? Let's just kind of leave it open-ended. We've got the Six of Wands upright, the Knight of Swords, and the Four of Cups. So for some of you, it's because you have the best credentials. For others of you, you were chosen because you signed up without completely understanding what you were getting into. You may have been excited about the opportunity, or you may have really felt like it was an honor. But now that you have more information, you have a lot of reservations about it. There's a lot of emotions you didn't expect to pop up. There's insecurities, hesitation. Okay. And that's deep, right? Like, that's a lot of responsibility. And I can understand why that is putting a lot of pressure on you, group number 1. I'm not seeing any particular scenario here. Overall, it looks like, I feel like it really does relate to something material, finances, living situations. You know, it could even be that, like, if you, for instance, are in a situation where maybe you've allowed somebody to live with you for a while, and it was like under the assumption or under the confidence that they would get a job, find a different place to live, and maybe it's just gone on for too long, or there are starting to be problems in the home, right? You may be feeling frustrated by that and feeling like, okay, I think I need to remove them from the home, but also struggling because, like, you have empathy for this person, you have sympathy for this person. Yeah. Oof, that's heavy. Okay, so let's get right into it. What should you do? Okay, we've got the 5 of Wands upright. We've got the Page of Swords in reverse. We've got the 8 of Pentacles upright. And we've got the 10 of Swords. Okay. So you may have to there's like a phrase that's trying to come into my head, and it's like put on your boxing gloves. Right? This is a situation where you may have to call on that sense of, like, that fiery passion, right? You may have to put up a tough facade, even if you don't feel like that. Why is the Page of Swords in reverse? The Knight of Cups in reverse. There's somebody here who's not listening to you, group number 1. They're not responding to your calls. They're not, they're maybe kind of ignoring your emails or cutting you off when you're talking. There's something that you're very passionate about that you've been trying to get across to somebody, and they are absolutely not listening because they don't feel that emotional investment, right? Whatever it is, a business, your home, they don't have that same emotional connection. Their thought process is just completely tuned out to anything that doesn't correspond with their perspective. So you have to get more direct with this person. This may involve like setting up a meeting with them. You know, if this is somebody who's at a distance from you, you may have to like travel to see them or do like a video conference, right? Even if you have to get other people involved to really hold the other individual accountable. For some of you, this could be bringing in attorneys, depending on like whatever the situation is. For others of you, like if this is like someone who lives in your home that really needs to leave, this is like calling a family meeting. Like you're going to have to let them know that there needs to be a face-to-face conversation. It's really like fighting with fire, putting your foot down. Now, this Eight of Pentacles here tells me that you also need to come forward with a solid plan. So if this is a situation where it's like a business thing, you may want to do some research first if you haven't already. So that, like, you know, if there are legal violations going on, right? Those need to be accessible to you so that you can show it to this individual. Like, here's what's going on. Like, this is illegal. If there are funds that need to be redistributed and this person is just kind of like, no, we're not doing that. I would say definitely go in with like a diagram or a slideshow or something to show why the reallocation of funds is profitable, why it's better in the long term. If this is like somebody living in your home, this to me is saying like, you know, look for resources so that you can go here, like, here's low income housing, or here are some apartments that are available, or here are some jobs that have, you know, listings. Because I feel like if this person doesn't see, whoever it is, if they don't see the way that this is constructive or the way that they can behave more independently, then they're just going to continue to be really flaky about it, non-committal. And then with this Ten of Swords, it's kind of like you know, any questions at the end of a lecture, right? Any questions? Make sure that you are prepared to address any stressors. If this Page of Swords in reverse is trying to give you reasons why what they are doing isn't really illegal, for instance, be prepared to stress them the flip out, right? Like, all right, you know what? Let's just call the lawyers in or something like that. If this person, if we're going with like the reallocation of funds, whatnot, if they're coming up with excuses or they're expressing concerns why this may not be valid, why this is maybe like a pipe dream or isn't well informed or whatever, definitely like acknowledge their concerns, acknowledge their criticisms, and then provide feedback for them. If this is somebody who is in a situation where it's kind of taking advantage of you, or other people, I think it's really important to communicate that. Like, and all of this is indicating, like, make sure you gather resources, okay? Put that information together in a way that it's, like, accessible and it's, like easily navigated. And then explain why the way things are now are very problematic. You know, even in the scenarios where we're talking about legal issues, or redistribution of funds, or whatever situation you have, it can be important to talk about why the way things are now are very harmful. So a well put together, a well established lecture, presentation, conversation, where you have the resources accessible and you've anticipated concerns, and you can articulate the way, like, you can articulate what your plan or your suggestion is, how it will benefit the situation, and like what concerns are now, or things like that. That's really, I think, what the universe is really guiding you to focus on. So why is taking this action important? We've got the Lovers. We've got the Page of Wands in reverse. We've got Judgment. And we've got the King of Swords. Okay. It's important because it has to be a conscious decision. It's important because it has the potential to have a very large impact on the outcome of the situation. If a company is misappropriating its funds, right? Or if it's being wasteful with its resources, or, you know, people are being mistreated, or if there's someone in your life who's taking advantage of you and it's causing stress on you and your loved ones, without addressing it very seriously and very deliberately, that situation can continue, right? And it just continues to snowball until it gets to become a bigger issue. So this has to be something done deliberately, and it has to be done effectively. Otherwise, no action is going to be taken, right? This Ace of Wands in reverse. The fire will be put out before it even starts. And this shows the strength of your judgment. Somebody who walks into the situation being really meek, non-committal in what their needs are, not expressing themselves strongly, is not going to have any effect on the situation, right? This situation calls for you understanding what the deficits are, how it's impacting you, the people in your life, the people in the work environment, and what can be done about it. Okay? And it's important because even though this is very stressful for you, there's something about the way that you think, group number one, and the way that you communicate that really makes you the perfect candidate for this situation. I feel like you are able to notice things other people miss, and you're able to articulate them in ways that will be effective for this particular circumstance, right? Like, even if you're not a particularly effective, speaker, or debater or whatever, there's something about this situation where you have a really good chance of making a positive influence. And it really requires you to be direct. So group number 1, I hope that this reading resonated with you. If it did, please let me know how in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to be a part of the family and have not done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know whenever I upload a new video. Also, I am available for personal readings if you'd like to book with me. My contact information is in the description box down below. Just send me an email and I'll send you a list of my services. All right, bye. Hello, group number 2. If you chose the Moss Agate, then this is going to be your reading about what you should do for your situation. We are going to pull the oracle cards and look into what the situation is. This will help you understand if this is your reading. In pile 1, I did end up having to pull like tarot clarifying cards to get a little bit of a better understanding of the situation. So that may be something that we have to do with yours as well. We'll see. So we've got invitation in reverse with descendant. We've got teamwork building. We've got inner truth, card number 7. And we have yield with patience, card number 3. Wow, interesting. So we have 37, and then we have 7-3. So mirroring numbers could be important. The numbers 3 or 7 could be important. 37, 37, 73, 73, 10. All of those numbers could bear significance for you. So I definitely will pull some clarifying cards, but right now I can sense that there is stagnation, right? Like, you want to take action, group number 2, towards something, and I feel like you're also thinking maybe you shouldn't. Seems like it's a situation that involves other people. And with the invitation in reverse card, this could literally be talking about you don't feel that you've been invited into a situation, right? Either like nobody's come to you and said, hey, group 2, come be a part of this, come join us. Or you may have been removed from the situation for whatever reason. And you could be waiting to hear back from somebody or some people, or maybe you're just in a state of stillness because you feel like you should wait to see if the situation changes. Either there's something you see that you want to share with someone and you're just not sure if you should, or you're feeling a sense of inner wisdom and like that could be conflicting with, that could be causing the conflict, right? Like, if you feel you have a higher perspective, but then on the same, like, that guides you one way, but then you think, well, maybe I'm wrong about that higher perspective, so maybe I should stay still, maybe I shouldn't do anything. Okay, so we'll get a little bit more information about these cards to see if we can get more of a defined like situation. Okay, so can you clarify this teamwork building card? The Magician in reverse. There could be a connection that you want to change. Could be a business relationship, right? Family relationship, a friendship. a romantic interest. There's someone you want to get close to for whatever reason, but you haven't taken the measures to do that, and maybe you don't feel that you can or that you should. So why do we have the invitation in, card in reverse? The Queen of Pentacles upright. You may feel like somebody doesn't need you, right? Like they've got all their needs met, they're capable, they're confident. You may feel that they're in a good position without this teamwork card here, Like maybe this feeling of if I come into their life, am I going to disrupt it? What can I offer them? They're probably happy, thriving. The Queen of Pentacles is somebody who's very grounded, very prosperous, and she's giving. So you might even think like part of this patience might be here because you might be thinking, well, I'm sure if this individual wanted to connect with me, right, that they would take the steps. What's causing this yield card, this patience card? Oh, we had quite a few. So we've got the 8 of Wands, the 2 of Cups, and the 10 of Cups, both reversed. Ooh. Okay, this is very likely a separation. And it happened quickly, right? This could have been like someone that you were friends with, where it seemed like you guys were getting really close, or maybe you were very close, and then boom, all of a sudden, like, you stopped talking to each other. Or a romantic partner where a breakup just happened, from nowhere. It was just very abrupt, and I think your nerves are kind of shocked, right? Like, you're still processing this. You don't quite know what to do, which is, duh, because you're right here. What's this inner truth card? That's the one that piques my interest, because owls are about seeing things in the dark, right? Like, it's about knowledge. The 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. So for those of you who don't align with the idea of like, this is a close relationship or a relationship that you anticipated was going to get close and then all of a sudden it broke apart. This could be Jack. Hey. No. Go. Naughty puppy. This could be like, why something isn't working. But for others of you, I feel like this is the inner truth of, or at least the feeling of the inner truth of, like, the action you could potentially take wouldn't work if you were interested in connecting with this person, being afraid that it wouldn't work, or knowing, like, what wasn't working. Especially if you can reflect and you recognize where there were issues in the connection, right? And like, if it was deteriorating or toxic, imbalanced. And so there's this conflict of like, I want to connect with someone, but I'm afraid of being rejected, or I feel like maybe it's wasted effort. Okay. So let's get to the moment of truth. If that resonated with you. So what action, what should group number 2 do? The Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Wow, look at that. The Seven of Wands in reverse. The Lovers in reverse. The Lovers upright. With the Ace of Wands in reverse. And the Ten of Wands in reverse. And the Five of Swords in reverse with the Devil. Okay. So I would definitely say, group number 2, that the universe is guiding you not to take action on this connection. It's, the Queen of Earth, the Queen of Pentacles, is someone who is very nurturing, very motherly, very giving, right? And at this point in time, it's important for you not to offer that to this situation. So that means, like, if you get that urge to call someone, if you get the urge to text them, if you get the urge to go look for them, find ways to occupy your mind and your time so that you don't give in to that urge. I'm curious about the Seven of Wands, because that talks about letting defenses down, right? So what's that about? The Eight of Pentacles. So instead of reaching out to this person or trying to nurture a relationship with this person, it is going to be very important for you to work through any defensiveness that you may have. This is probably a situation that did hurt you a lot. You may have felt blindsided by it. This may have been years of friendship, right? Or just gone, or trust that was broken, or expectations that were not met. There may be some resentment that you have towards this person. There may be insecurities you have about yourself, and the universe is really encouraging you to work on dismantling those. Okay? It's important to heal those so that they don't jade you, and so that you can exist in a secure and soft way. This could also potentially talk about, like, if you've blocked somebody, only if you feel comfortable. But if you have blocked somebody, it is okay to unblock them, because this person may reach out to you to work on things. But for the time being, do not reach out to them. Now, with the Lovers, that's about choices, okay? And there is a choice that needs to be made in not taking action, because eventually, like, as you continue to reaffirm that you are not giving in to your impulses, or you are not staying attached to this situation, that stress is going to slowly start to relieve itself. So I'm working through my anxious attachment style, and like, the way I can describe it is like when I feel that impulse or that urge to reach out to somebody that I know I probably shouldn't, and I tell myself no, it's like trying to hold back a child at a store who sees a toy or a treat that they want. And when they find out that they're not going to get it, they're begging and pleading. When that doesn't work, they're screaming, kicking, hitting, clawing, like just trying to get to that toy, thinking like, that's what I need, that's what I want. You know, and the parent is the one who is just like, I'm sorry, no, like, we can't have that. And it's hard. It makes me feel like a maniac. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I feel batshit insane when I'm going through that. But finally I get to a point where it's like I can calm that inner child down, right? And I feel that relief, and it's a little bit easier each time. I also feel, oh, is this a Delulu checkpoint? What do you want to say about, I'm just going to ask the cards what they're going to say about like this interpretation. Okay, I can give it. For some of you, there is a deep connection here. There is a connection that's very spiritually intertwined. And this is part of the path. This is absolutely part of the path where the two of you, whether this is, like I said, a friendship, a relationship, family, this is the part where the two of you are meant to kind of be on separate journeys and shed layers of yourselves that can't necessarily be shed with each other. And what's this? I'm just thinking of like addictions falling away. Can you clarify this for a moment, please? As like what action they should take. Okay. The Ten of Swords. So part of this too is going through the pain. Group number 2 is part of the healing process for you. And that sucks. I'm sorry. But this is really encouraging you to allow yourself to go through the withdrawals, right? The doubts, the insecurities, the pain. Because you are making yourself stronger. This is allowing you, like we said, to shed old layers that you couldn't have shed with this person. It can be things like codependency, low self-esteem, sacrificing your own dreams for someone else's, right? Like this is a pivotal point in time for you. And so if you were to reach out to this person, that would halt this progress. And it could potentially, even if they were agreeable, right? Even if they were like, oh my God, group 2, I'm so glad you called. I've missed you so much. Without going through this process, and believe me, you're not the only one going through this, right? Like the other person is as well. Without going through these processes, it's a repetition of the same pattern, right? Something is incomplete. And so it's like the two of you come together and there's like a hole, right? And you're like, why isn't this fitting? Why isn't it working like it used to? Because there's a metamorphosis here that has to happen. And you have to be willing, you both have to be willing to go through it in order to get to the other side. Now, I know that does kind of answer the question about why this is important, but maybe we can also, let's see if there's anything else that the universe wants to say about why it's important to take this action. We've got the 4 of Swords in reverse. We've got the Fool in reverse. We've got Judgment in reverse. And we've got the 7 of Pentacles. So there may have been a halt in your growth recently, right? Like maybe you did a lot of healing over the past couple of years or whatever, and you were feeling really good. And now the situation pops up, okay? There is more. There is more that needs to be done. And, you know, I mean, there's always more that can be done, right? But it seems like, why is this so important? Like, why is this particular growth so important? We've got the 4 of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups in reverse, and the 2 of Swords. It's going to help you learn how to navigate life without being propelled by your negative emotions, by your fears, by your doubts, by your insecurities, your low self-esteem, whatever it is. There's a new beginning here. Like that can't happen yet. It's kind of like when you get to the end of a level in a video game, but there are still quests that you have to complete, so you cannot progress, right? And you're like, well, I did the main task, like I should be able to go forward. No, there's some pivotal things here that you need to address. Otherwise it's going to keep dredging up. Like, you know, I'm just seeing like mud being sucked up in the water, and the water never clearing. Why is the Judgment card in reverse? The Star in reverse. It's also important because you're not, if you give into the situation, you're not giving hope a chance, right? By trying to reach out and by trying to take control of the situation, you're saying, screw hope. Hope that this person and I will reunite, or hope that I will heal from the pain, or hope that new connections will develop and form and come into my life. By trying to reach out to this person, you're giving into fear. And the universe is saying, no, we're not operating on that frequency anymore. We're going to operate on hope. And ultimately, I mean, it's important to do this because it makes you work. Okay, giving in to our insecurities, giving into our impulses, that's easy because it's instinctively what we want to do. But by taking a firm stance and saying, no, mind, no, body, I'm not giving into that. you are putting in the hard work. And that hard work makes you stronger. And it helps to regulate your nervous system. It helps to reorganize like your thoughts. So the work itself is important. Group number 2. I hope that this reading was helpful for you. If it resonated, please let me know how in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to be a part of the family and haven't done so, you can hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know whenever I upload a new video. Bye. Hello, group number 3. You chose the rose quartz. So this will be your reading for what you should do about your situation. I'm going to lay out these oracle cards. They will detail the situation at hand. And the other 2 piles I did also clarify with a tarot deck just to get more information. That will let us know if this is your correct pile or not. All right. So we've got 55 with transits and climate. 4 with Cancer, immerse. 11 with clouds and distractions. We have new perspective. And card number 24 with it's in you. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need some clarifying cards. Okay. There's a lot of thought going on in here. Group number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No. There's a situation where I think you've received new information. And it's really changed what possible actions you could take and the direction that you're interested in. But I think you're having a hard time grasping it. There's just a lot going on around you, whether like just in general aspects of your life or in this circumstance. I don't think you know which way to look. But you're determined. You're very determined with this It's in You card. And you're trying to really delve into the facts of something. Okay. Where do we start? Where do we start? Let's get a clarifying card for this new perspective. Can you clarify this new perspective card, please? Strength. And look at that. It's right next to the lion. Okay. What's the climate card? The 9 of Swords. Okay, so there's a lot of anxiety around this situation. And it might not even be your anxiety. It could be the anxiety of other people. Sometimes it's really loud to it's really hard to hear ourselves think when we're surrounded by people who are in really chaotic energy. It's also likely that this is a time-sensitive issue. Like there's this feeling of being rushed, right? And that can lead to what could feel like a distraction. You know, you're feeling rushed to make a decision. but you're finding out new information and there's a deadline. What's this immerse card? I'm going to come back to the strength card. Don't worry. I just feel like maybe getting information about the other cards can help put that perspective a little bit more astutely. Tell me about this immerse card. The Six of Cups. What are the distractions? And then the it's in you. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of cards. Four of Swords with the Four of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups, and the High Priestess in reverse. Oh. I feel like there are a bunch of other people around you who are worried and you're just kind of chill about something. You're like, eh. Either it's like, whatever it is, it's not that big of a deal to you, or you think other people are exaggerating or complicating it. 55 and 11, we could be seeing double numbers a lot. I feel like there's a deadline about something. And this, to me, with the Six of Cups, right, with the immerse, that's like, how much do I give to a situation? How much do I offer something, and what am I going to be getting in return? And the distraction is like, things aren't changing. But maybe it's not the point, right? The fact that things aren't changing isn't necessarily the point of the whole thing. Or that things are changing unexpectedly, like into what wasn't anticipated. But I feel like the Strength card here is really talking about understanding there's more control over the situation than what maybe other people are thinking there is. So you're really holding back. You're holding back on something, group number 3. Because you're like, no, I'm not going to jump all in right away. I'm going to wait to see what more there is that I can get from something. If something is a wise investment, 'cause you don't want to rush into it. You know that if you race to kind of put your chips in because you think that's the only opportunity that you're going to get, you're realizing that it's highly likely that you're going to be missing out on something. That you could get more than what's being offered, or that you have leverage in a situation. Or that maybe even like you don't need to surrender anything at all. This is a little bit more abstract than the other two piles. The other two piles I felt like I could narrow down on at least a couple of examples. But I just keep getting this feeling, like this smugness, this contentment, like everybody else is freaking out. But I'm not going to do that. I know that I have leverage in this. I know that I have more control in this situation. So I'm going to bide my time. I am going to wait until I'm satisfied. Or I'm not going to surrender what it is that someone else is wanting from me because I'm happy with what I have. I don't need anything else, or I'm not about to surrender what makes me happy. Which is interesting, like maybe you're just here then for confirmation. You know, and I know that like when we feel confident about a situation, sometimes when other people are kind of freaking out, we're like, should we be freaking out? Are we underreacting? Or maybe somebody has you second guessing your decision, and so you're like, I don't know. Maybe I should consider something else, but we'll see. I'm nosy as hell. I want to see what this Magician in reverse is about. If there's anything specific. It's like playing a game of chess. Are we waiting for someone else to make a move? Are people freaking out because they're thinking somebody else is going to take the first step towards something and they're going to miss out? Okay. Interesting. If that resonates with you, please like let me know what's going on. If you feel comfortable, if you want to share. Because I'm curious. What is everybody freaking out about? And why are you so chill? Okay, so what should group number 3 do about their situation? We've got the World in reverse with the Ace of Pentacles, the Lovers, the Five of Swords, and the Page of Pentacles. Leave your options open. Definitely. Don't commit to a specific answer. Can we get a little more clarity on that? I've got the Ten of Wands in reverse, but also don't put stress on the situation. I think the overall energy you possess is fairly appropriate. Also, don't reveal everything in your hand. If you know more, you might not want to share that. You might also... I know. The puppy across the hall is sad. You also may want to withhold information about everything that you have to offer. Whether it's like a skill, money, property, a connection. But definitely don't put pressure on the situation. Okay? Just kind of lay out some of your cards and see what happens with it. We got the Ace of Pentacles. Can you tell us a little bit about that? The Page of Cups in reverse. Make small but practical decisions, okay, or offers. Don't give in necessarily to what someone else wants. And also, don't move emotionally. Like, don't move from a place of emotions. So, like, even if this is something that you really want, right? Like, I don't even know what this could be. Sponsorship is coming to mind. I don't know how sponsorships work at all. But don't agree necessarily to all of the demands of somebody else just because it's something you really, really want. Make sure you're moving practically. So it would be wise for you to invest a little bit into whatever this situation is, but just give a little bit, right? Like, don't withhold everything. Because if you withhold everything, you could miss out on something. The Lover's card. Just start small. Okay, we've got the Queen of Wands. Have confidence in your decision. Not arrogance. Confidence. So the Lovers can talk about fate and destiny and love, right? But it's also a card of decision. Does the Fool in the story of the Fool, does the Fool stay with the person that they've fallen in love with and thereby surrender like the rest of their spiritual enlightenment? Or do they separate from their lover who, they would miss, but then continue their journey to spiritual enlightenment? So be confident. Get a little creative too, right? In fact, whatever the hell this is, you could, excuse me. No. You could offer somewhat of a partnership, like a creative partnership. Well, we have the Five of Swords here. The Sun in reverse. Definitely steel yourself against pessimism. Okay? There are going to be people who think you're being naive about the situation, or you're not taking it seriously. And they may try to convince you to surrender against your better judgment. But definitely build up some mental barriers to that. Like, it can be beneficial to hear people out, but don't let their fear and their sense of absolute compromise and sacrifice impact your decision. And then the Page of Coins with the Three of Cups. Mm-hmm. You could, if other people are involved in the situation, and I really feel like they are, But if other people are involved in the situation, you may want to offer them some grounded advice. Once again, not completely revealing your hand, but I feel like your perspective and your knowledge in something could really help tame and quell some of the fears that other people have. And if this has to do with like a merging or some sort of like business or creative deal, it wouldn't hurt to invite the heads or like the competition or whatever it is to something social, like going out to eat, having coffee, going out for a couple of drinks. I feel like confidence, discretion, and friendliness and charisma are going to get you a long way in this situation. Absolutely bide your time, group number 3, whatever the hell this is about. But keep your options open. Don't apply too much pressure. Have confidence. Steel yourself against the criticism. Make small practical offers. And be sociable. Right? Be personable. So why is this important? Why is taking this action important for you in this situation? Okay, we've got the Empress in reverse, the Fool in reverse, and the King of Swords in reverse. Oh. Okay. If you're not somewhat involved in the situation, right? That means nothing happens for you. Like nothing gets started for you. You are totally left out of the loop. Because you end up missing critical information. By being cautious but open, right? And intentionally engaging in the situation, you're putting yourself in a position to be recognized, to be an asset, and to gain something. And you're gathering information in the process. If you don't do that, you're missing key pieces of information. You're seen as kind of like invisible. You don't stand out. And therefore you do miss out on an opportunity. So keep a balanced perspective and keep a balanced position in this situation. It's really going to benefit you, but it's absolutely like I'm seeing someone like playing chess in my mind right now. It's going to be very strategic and tactical, but you absolutely can gain something big from this in the end. All right, so I'm going to leave you there. If you found this reading resonated with you, please let me know how in the comment section down below. I am dying to know. And although maybe that just went against my advice, I don't know. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to be a part of the family and haven't done so, you can hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know whenever I upload a new video. I do offer personal readings. Just send me an email and I'll send you a list of my services. All right, bye.